The issue of innovation in the public service is one that I've an awful lot of interest in. You have to and you should if you're in a senior position. But it's one where I think we talk an awful lot about encouraging innovation and sensible risk-taking and creating the right environment. But sometimes I feel that our whole system is set up to identify innovation early, contain it, and eradicate it as quickly as possible. And I mean, obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I find there's a real disconnect, especially for middle managers and young executives, where on the one hand, we encourage them to be innovative, we encourage them to take sensible risks and so forth. And on the other hand, all our messages is make sure nothing goes wrong, follow all the rules, make sure the processes are solid and that you've dotted every I, crossed every T. Sometimes these sentiments don't go well together because innovation and risk-taking means that not everything's going to succeed. It means you're trying something new, and the something new may or may not work. And I think, in my view, you can't foster innovation and encourage it in an organization without setting up, I think, the environment to make it work effectively. And again, it's a lot easier to describe than it is to do. You actually have to work at it. You obviously have to look for ideas. You have to encourage ideas to come from a variety of areas. And I find in most organizations, people have innovative ideas. They often don't feel they have a forum where they can express them, bring them forward, get support for them. So I think you have to develop some type of safe space, some mechanism or opportunity to surface some of those ideas. I think you have to recognize that there has to be active support. They're going to take time. They're going to take resources. Most are not going to happen overnight. So I think you have to, there has to be an investment in innovation. It's like any business. Someone may have a great idea, a great innovative product, but you still need to develop it, you need to perfect it, you need to commercialize it, you need to market it. All of that takes time, effort, and money. And I think we have to recognize that it's no different in the public service. And I think sometimes we don't sort of step back and recognize that we need to create an environment where that can happen easier, and creating that environment takes time. And it also takes one other important thing that we talk about a lot, and that is innovation that we've tried that at the end of the day didn't work. And again, if you go and talk to any company that puts a lot of effort into innovation, that's one of the first things they tell you. They invest in a lot of things that at the end of the day doesn't work. And I know that's harder in a public service setting, right? Because we're custodians of the public purse. We have ministers. We work for ministers, for governments, and most governments don't want the perception that resources, time, and effort has gone into something that hasn't worked. So I think for people like me, for deputy ministers, for ADMs, we have to create the climate for some of this stuff. And that means socializing ministers, creating the opportunities, encouraging, investing. I think one of the things that has struck me, and I think many people, many senior executives, I know many deputies feel exactly the same way as I do. You can't sort of snap your fingers and say all of a sudden we're going to have an innovative environment. It's going to take time and concerted effort. And I think from where I sit, I can see collectively we're making a lot more of a commitment to that in a variety of areas. And, one example is many departments have set up innovation labs, for example, just more structured mechanisms to help encourage and foster some real innovation.